Hello, Miami. Hola, hola, Miami. People say that wherever you are, wherever you come from in the world, this is a city that's built on dreams. Today, you made my dream come true.
Welcome to Now or Never, action-packed Friday show.
Yeah.
Cavino, Rich, and the co-owners of Inter Miami, Jorge Mas, David Beckham.
Thank you.
Good to meet you, fellas. How are
What's
you?
up, man?
Thank you, man. We're awesome.
Thank you guys for being here. We're excited. Before we continue, can we tone down the handsome so that we can concentrate, please?
Yes.
Yeah, can we do that? All right, good.
It's Jorge's birthday today.
Hey, happy birthday!
Happy birthday, brother.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
He's allowed to be handsome.
Thank you very much.
Okay, cool.
Let me ask you.
One day, listen, you know, the genetic composition here and here, it's, you know, it's,
Yeah, I mean, so you have a million opportunities probably in the business world.
Yes.
What makes you choose MLS and teaming up with David Beckham?
two things. It was for my city, for Miami. I was born and grew up in that city, and it was missing, you know, football, soccer as a major sport. But most importantly, when you look at the beautiful cultural mosaic that is Miami, and it's, you know, predominantly 60% Hispanic, you know, so many people from different countries and backgrounds, but two things tied them together. The love of football, of soccer, because it's their first sport, and second, the Latin passion. So, you know, getting involved with this project for us was to give something back to our city, to Miami. I had observed, you know, David's, if I want to use Odyssey in trying to get the team off the ground in Miami. And when given the opportunity, I could think of no better way to do something that's transformational than David and I be able to deliver Inter Miami to our city.
You know what? What was the biggest struggle getting the franchise to this point?
You know what? There's not enough time for us to go through every struggle because there was so many. Every time that we came up to something that I felt was positive, then the next day, you know, it would disappear. So there were so many things that we come up against. But we met 19 months ago, and since then everything's been like incredibly good. So I'm very thankful to Jorge, Jose, and obviously the whole Mas family.
When this team makes their debut Sunday, what does that mean to David Beckham's legacy?
You know, we always say that, you know, there's a few reasons why we're doing this team. Obviously, the way Jorge speaks about his city, you know, but it's about legacy for us. For us to turn around to our children and say, see what we built, and for them in 10, 20 years' time to walk into that stadium and say, our dad's built this stadium and built this club, that would be a proud moment for us.
Now, I mean, everyone thinks their parents are lame at times. There's no way your kids think that you and Victoria are lame ever, or do they say, "Oh, Dad"?
Well,
like,
they definitely don't think Victoria's lame, but I think they probably have their moments.
You tell bad dad jokes?
I do tell bad dad jokes. I must, and sometimes, you know, you do the bit of a dad dance as well, and that embarrasses some of my sons.
Wow,
That's
wow.
great.
That might tarnish your legacy, that dance.
That might,
But
yeah.
Other sports icons, you know, have taken on ownership and things like that, and haven't fared that well. Michael Jordan, our guy Derek Jeter in Miami. How do you avoid that sort of thing? Does that affect the legacy, and how do you plan on getting people in the seats?
You know, I think that obviously we have planned this very carefully. You
Yeah.
know, and luckily I've had a long time to plan it
Right.
over the last 7 years. But you know, we know our city, we know our fans. You know, Jorge more than me, and we want to put an exciting, creative team on the field. And a team that the city can be proud of and our fans. And there's not one day that went past over the last 7 years that I didn't get a message from, you know, someone from Miami, a message from, you know, either a young kid, you know, a grandma. You know, I was constantly getting messages of support to get this team going.
This is gonna be fantastic. Miami, we were just there for the Super Bowl. What
Yeah.
an amazing city!
Amazing, isn't it?
You guys are doing
What
a great thing.
what a great
So
week.
much fun.
Now, with your contacts in the David Beckham Rolodex of life, you could have probably gone after any player from Europe. Why Rodolfo Pizarro? Why is he your guy?
You know, when we were putting the roster together, you know, Paul McDonough has done an incredible job. You know, he's done an incredible job with bringing in the players that we've got. And obviously to have the chance of having Rodolfo come into our team, I think it's an exciting prospect for us. You know, when I spoke to him, he showed the passion and the willingness to want to be part of our club. And that for me and for Jorge and, you know, Marcelo and Massa, you know, that's an important part of this. We want players that are going to come to our city and want to play for our club. And Rodolfo, he was just so excited about the prospect of playing, you know, in Miami. You know, he's a 26-year-old young kid that has got also experience, and I think hopefully he's going to light up this league.
You get any text messages from other big stars saying, yo,
That's what I was thinking.
what's going on, buddy?
The amount of messages that I've got from European players over the last few years has been incredible. But you know, we're in a position where we can pick and choose, you know, who comes into the club, and it's important that we don't just go for the biggest name, for the biggest star. We might do at some point,
Right.
But I also think that we have to have players that come into our club that are the right fit.
Hey, speaking of big stars, who comes to the MLS first, Ronaldo or Messi?
I don't know. You know, Cristiano is obviously enjoying his time now at Juve. You know, his career has been incredible, and Leo has been, you know, a one-club wonder. So, you know, for those two players, you know, I've got such admiration for both of them. You know, for players that have played at the highest level, and for the amount of time that they've played at the highest level, and still doing it week in and week out is incredible. So, when people turn around to us and say, "Who would you like to have at our club?" You know, I think as owners, you know, the mention of having any of those two guys, you know, come into your club is anyone's dream.
Does it ever, you ever sit back and think, like, what you've done in your career? Like, you have fragrances. There's a million things that you've done.
You know, I've had a lot of fragrances.
Is that crazy?
Yeah. It's like 11. It smells good.
I mean, this
Like
is
a champion.
11 years of it. 11 years for fragrance. Yeah, a
Oh,
lot.
man. Well, you know, speaking of GOATs and the great ones out there, Tom Brady is going through free agency now, and this is new territory for him. If Tom Brady were to reach out to you, what advice would David Beckham give Tom Brady?
You know, I love Tom. He's a good friend of mine, and I think that, you know, when you're sat with young kids and you're talking about, you know, great stars and great athletes, you know, even if I'm talking to kids about, you know, soccer, you know, I also mention great players like Tom, because, you know, you don't have a career like he's had without working hard. And, you know, I love Tom for many different reasons. As a person, as a father, as a husband, he's an incredible guy. But as an athlete, there's not many better than him. So, you know, whatever happens, you know, the career that he's had has been incredible, but who knows?
Now, he is also part of an amazing, beautiful power couple, much like yourself. When you made decisions, how much of a role did Victoria play in your decision-making?
A huge part. You know, we've been married for almost 21 years now. We've been together for 24 years. We've got 4 amazing kids. You know, Victoria's a hard-working businesswoman. But of course, you know, whenever we're making decisions within the business, within our life, then of course we always discuss things. But you know, there's certain things that I don't get involved in on her side, and certain things that she doesn't get involved in on my side.
So you're saying Giselle obviously is going to have a say, is what we're hearing here.
I'd imagine.
Right. Jorge, when is the MLS going to crack the top 3 here in the U.S.? We're here in the next 10 years. Is this true?
Oh, listen, I think definitely. I think 5 years from now, you'll see it at top 3 or close. 10 definitely. You know, when you see you know, the popularity of the league, you have new teams coming in, the profile of the owners that are going to make massive investments in players and in infrastructure. I think it's just a short-term, you know, matter of time until we crack that. And when you see a new TV deal coming in 3 years, you know, all the different platforms and channels, and basically you see a new generation of participation of youth, you know, who grew up playing, you know, soccer. So I think all of the demographics work to make the MLS a top 3 league in, you know, I'd say 5 to 7 years, no doubt.
The late great Kobe Bryant was a friend of yours as well, and his second career was going as well as his first. What did you learn from Kobe?
You know, I learned so much from Kobe over the years. You know, when you look at athletes, you know, there's not many better than what Kobe did, and what Kobe's legacy is. I think it's been a hard time, not just for the people of Los Angeles and the US. I think globally, you know, people have been grieving globally for Kobe, and that says a lot about him as a person, as a husband, as a father. You know, I was lucky to live in LA when, you know, the Lakers were winning championships, and I was lucky to sit there and watch Kobe And people used to turn around to me and say, why do you wait till the last second of every game? You know, can't we leave? Can't we go for dinner? And I'm like, no. You know, when I'm there, if Kobe's on the court, then I'm not leaving until that man walks out of that. So, you know, we're all grieving, I think, for Kobe and his family and the other families that lost lives on that tragic day. But I think the fact that, you know, we talk about Kobe in the way we talk about him, you know, says a lot about him as a man, as an athlete, as a husband, and as a father.
So you take that mentality, I guess that Mamba mentality, to the business world now, right? I guess that's the plan.
Yeah, of course. You know, we all want to be successful, and you know, we've spoke about, you know, great athletes and great businessmen being successful. And they're not just successful because of luck, you know, they're successful because of hard work, and you know, that's what we try to do.
You're a guy that's been known not only as a great athlete, but you're a style and fashion icon. I mean, my sister warned me not to make eye contact.
I know, I'm trying not to.
You got an eye for style and fashion. By the way, do you always pick out your own stuff, or do you have a team? Does Victoria have a big say when you're picking out like a sweet suit like that? Who does that?
I always choose my own clothes. You know, I ask Victoria's advice, but you know, sometimes she'll be like, no, don't wear that. But if I'm comfortable, then I'll wear it. She posted something on Instagram recently because I'm very organised, and every night before I go to sleep, whatever I'm wearing the next morning is set up, and she posted it. But
So you have a good sense of style, but when it came to the logo and the uniform and the crest, how did this come about? And did you two fight over it?
Tell us, Jorge, how did you guys come together with this?
I'm wearing it. No,
right.
You know, David had, you know, tremendous input. I think it's a very Miami crest. You look at the herons, the color. It's very similar, the shade of pink, to, you know, sunrise in Miami. I think it's a reflection of our community. But David had a hand in it. I think it's, you know, it's been super well received all over the world.
It looks good. How do you feel rocking the pink?
Thank you. I feel phenomenal.
Yeah.
Man. We own this color now.
But hold on, there's some symbolism in there too, right? In the sun rays. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, go ahead. You got it. You picked it.
got it.
I mean, somebody, come on.
You picked it. No, listen, you know, night, day, sunrise, you know, sunset. You know, and David and I have, when we first met and we talked about this, and you're going to see it on the inside of our jersey, it says freedom to dream. And for he and I, that means so much. As men, our different journeys, but our journeys together now with Inter Miami, about bringing out the best in each other, about showing people that if you're free individually and in your interior, and you dream of doing something, this is because listen, Inter Miami for us is a realization of a dream. You know, when we're going to be sitting there at Bank of California Stadium on Sunday, you know, there's going to be, I think, a gamut of emotions. It's going to be great and a huge milestone just to see our team kick off. So, you know, I'm very proud to be at his side.
Get me pumped, man.
Is it amazing? Is it amazing that after all he's done, you guys still, and you're in all the business stuff you've done, you still get excited about stuff?
This is awesome. This is the most fun that I've, frankly, in like my business career. And listen, I've been very blessed. You know, a Fortune 500 firm. I got 23,000 people throughout the country. I mean, it's been the personification of the American dream. But my funnest project, no doubt, has been this.
Well, let's talk about some of the competition you got, guys.
Well, then who rocks the cornrows better, you or Will Ferrell?
Oh my goodness! I must admit, that's the one hairstyle, you know, that I look back on and I think, oh,
really?
I'm not sure about that one. But it was bad timing. It was bad timing. We were in South Africa. We were meeting Nelson Mandela, and I look back and I think, I was meeting such a great man and sat there, and I have cornrows. So.
No, but you pull it off. Yeah. That's the difference.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Will can pull it off as well. But
you've rocked the man bun, you've rocked the shaved head, the mohawk.
I'm surprised I've got hair left, considering the amount of different styles that I've had.
Hey, as we get ready for Sunday, just curious, you've been here like 10, 15 minutes. The life of David Beckham. How many messages are on your phone that you've missed because you've been here?
Probably a lot. Well, I know my wife and kids are sleeping, so there won't be any messages from them. But you know, we was talking about it yesterday on the flight over from New York. We're on the plane, and we're constantly, you know, for 5 hours we were constant. It was like message after message.
Well, speaking of messages, do you have one for Will Ferrell? Any smack talk? This is big, guys.
All I want to say is good luck for Sunday.